So bold, brave, and ambitious. This is so much pressure tonight. So I was told, we watched TED Talks while we were preparing this event, and I was like, oh my God, I have to inspire these people, and I have to show how bold, brave, and ambitious I am. But it wasn't that easy, so I just got some help from someone that I have admired from my young age, when I was an impressionable, how did you say it? Impressionable girl. And I have come to even admire him more as I get older and wiser. And that character is Superman. And I'm sorry for the feminists who are here, Wonder Woman. The outfit is not very decent for the Rwandan context, so I'll stick to Superman. So, why Superman? Superman, you all know him with his superpowers. The guy can fly. He can, he has superpowers, super strength. He can see through things, even though sometimes it might be weird. But he can, he has these superpowers. And he's not as arrogant as we are when we start to know the world that we live in. We see the hunger, the wars, and we are like, oh my God, I want to change the world. Superman is not about that, I think. That's what I got from his character. He's more of, let me help the helpless, let me save lives. And then when I looked at Superman's character, I'm like, this guy, he doesn't have much more than we do. Like, we got the tools to also be superheroes. Because if it's helping the helpless and saving lives, we all can do it. And this is what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to illustrate this point through our experience in Solid Africa. When the journey of a superhero starts always with a trigger. Those who know Spider-Man, like, it was the death of his uncle. I think Superman was the Lois Lane, I think. I don't know. But for Solid Africa, the trigger was a woman who helped a girl find her way. The girl was called Isabel. She's the founder of Solid Africa. She's a very devoted girl. She prays a lot. So she was in this church praying every day for the sick, for the homeless, for the poor. And the woman came to her, she was like, you know what, it's very good, you're a cute girl. It's nice of you to pray for these people, but what are you doing to help these people? So she told her, come with me to the hospital and you'll see. She went, she saw what was happening in the hospital. People who were sick but didn't have food to eat, because if you don't have relatives here in Kigali and you are in Sehashka, for example, there's no one to bring you food. There are people who can't pay their bills and are sleeping in the hospital for months. There are people who don't have the 10% if you have social security to pay their medicine. So she was struck. She was like, okay, I am this girl with a lot of energy and a lot of friends, and I'm just praying and I'm not doing anything. And that's the next step of a superhero, realizing your super strength, your superpowers. Superman knew how to fly by jumping up. At some point, he knew that he could fly. Isabel came to talk to me. Yes, I'm a superpower. So she came to talk to me. She's like, you have to come and see this. We saw what was happening in the hospital, and we went and looked for all our friends. We were like, we can do something here. And the first life that we saved, we contributed to save, because it wasn't only us, was this cool dude that you see here. His name is Nijena. Nijena was burnt, badly burnt. He was in an accident with his small brother. They were playing in a hut, and the hut took fire. The small brother died, and he was in the hospital. And he needed skin transplant. And so we sought for help from doctors here, someone who was willing to pay for his transfer to Nairobi to get him healthcare. And we saved this kid. So it was not only us. Those were all those superheroes who contributed to save this life. But then we said, okay, we can't stop here. There's all those people who are lying in those hospital beds who need our help. By giving soup every day to one person who doesn't have any family here, that person will heal faster. He will go back to his community. He will contribute to bringing up his community, bringing up his kids. And if you pay the bills for someone who is going to Gisenyi, for example, he will be a member, he will know what you did for him. He will maybe do the same thing. So that's how posing small acts made us become superheroes. But of course, superheroes have their weaknesses. Superman has kryptonite. As sometimes a movement like that, there are a lot of things that come in the way. Laziness. Oh my God, it's Sunday. How now? I need to go to swim at Meridian. There's no way I can go to that hospital. Or maybe discouragement. We are in a poor country. These challenges will last for at least 10 more years. Like, when will it stop? Can I do this my whole life? But also life. I have a wedding. I have to contribute to my cousin's wedding. I don't have time to do this. But then you still have things to support you. You still have those people that you tell your story to who hold you accountable. They ask you, so what have you been doing lately? And then you go back. You're like, okay, I said that I was doing this. Let me go back and do it. But then there's also that energy. Superman's energy comes from the sun when he's very weak. As our energy comes from the people that we serve. The people like Damascene. Damascene was a guy who was also in the burnt unit. He was there for 8 months. In those 8 months, we paid for his medicine and we paid for his ticket to go back home, but he lived in near Kigali. This guy has been 8 months for someone who is supporting his whole family, can really drain the whole family. So after he was released from the hospital, 3 months later, we saw this guy coming back with a loaf of bread, 1 loaf of bread. And we were like, so are you back? Are you sick? What's going on? The guy was like, no, I'm doing what you did for me because I know there are people who need also my help. This is another level of superhero, right? My point here is when it is a lot of pressure to become brave, bold, change the world, change a regime, but we can be superheroes but by posing small acts of solidarity.